Hey graduates, hey graduates. So walk on. I was just sharing the live. Can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can actually hear me. Let me turn up the volume on this. This is a new I'm trying out StreamYard. I'm not a fan of Restream anymore. But let me know if you guys can hear me. Thumbs up. Oh, thank you. I'm trying out StreamYard. I don't know. I'm just not impressed with any of these streaming platforms so far, but let's see if this one's any better. Big up yourself, Faith B. I see you. Steph B. Hey, hey, hey. Lita Travels. Good day to you. Vanessa. Wagwan my sis. Andreen. I see you. Pi Gordon. Ola. Hey, Kelly. Yes, indeed. Do remember to like up the live as soon as you come in. Big up your nice, clean self, Kelly. Dawn, big up yourself. And as Dawn says, indeed, do not forget. Let me just put this. I hope I permit this. Oh, there you go. Okay, I'm figuring this out. Welcome one, welcome all to HTK's Live. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to show appreciation to the channel. Very, very important. Okay, very important. All right, let me see who else is in the building. Bro Shaka, big up yourself. Charmaine, good afternoon. Hey, Leggy, present and accounted for. I see you. Who else is here? Who else is here? It is what it is. Big up yourself. Hey, Carrie. What's up? Jeanette Johnson. I see you. Who else I have not said hello to? Faith B. Minawa, Miss Somebody Social Spectator. Juju, big up yourself. Yes, yes. We are about to go into the discussion based on the the explosive interview from yesterday because trust and believe, I don't know what to say about it. Let me show my face a little bit first. Let me show my face a little bit first so you guys know you're not talking to a ghost. Yes, it's your girl, Head Teacher K. I have not been live for a very long time. Yes, podcasts are not my thing, but occasionally we have come out and have a little chit chat with you guys. We have to catch up because ever so often these things demand a personal presence. Okay. So, as you guys all know, yesterday, um, Auntie Donna, aka DMG, aka Donna Marigo, had a interview on the Donna Gao show on YouTube. And I made sure that I stayed up. I still look tired because I stayed up and I stayed for the whole thing because it was not about to miss me, especially as somebody who is here in the UK, you understand? And we kind of know the things them. We definitely had to be front and center in the classroom. It was interesting to see that Planker Shop was a little bit oblivious as to who Mitchieboo actually was. I thought that, yeah, I suppose, when you're in your little corner or penny section of the diaspora, you get the impression that everybody knows what you know, right? So yeah, Michibu is well known here in the UK. She's not necessarily well known in America, but in the dancehall scenes, many people who interact with the UK dancehall scene will know about Michibu. Michibu is referred to as the style icon because she is known for her fashion, her statements in fashion in the dance hall, and her appearance. She's got a fantastic body. She has done surgery, which interestingly, I did note that she didn't mention on the interview last night, but yeah, she did do surgery. And yeah, she's known for all of that. She keeps very kind of high end dances throughout the year, events, and they are not cheap to attend. And they usually call for a certain type of theme. Okay. Um, Michibu is a very interesting character, right? And one of the things that unfortunately Michibu is known for is her involvement in, thank you so much, Leggy, her involvement in um, what you would call a criminal ring of theft from expensive stores. So we're going to go through and review the interview that DMG did. I don't normally play her content, but on this occasion, I'm going to dip in and out of it. And then I'm also going to go down and explore some of the background information that I've gathered on Mitchieboo and some of the newspaper articles as well. Because crucial to the discussion around mental health and what has led to Mitchieboo's current explosive interview um, is whether or not the public actually accept that Mitchieboo is, in fact, going through a mental health situation, or is this all about the hype of dance hall and the lifestyle that has led to certain demands that were out of pocket? Now, I know that people were treading very cautiously because nobody wanted to get blocked on DMG's live. You know that for us graduates, we are a little bit different. We do believe in making sure that our comments are respectful. I'm going to ask you to continue with that modus operandi. However, we do not censor and we do allow our audience to ask the tough questions that they were not able to ask yesterday. I also will appreciate anybody's perspective once it's done respectfully. So feel free to type in the comments as your emotions will demand. We are free spirits over here. Nobody can rule, nobody can control it. You understand? So I'm looking forward to you being very interactive. And if throughout the live, some of you feel the pressing need that you want to actually come on, I'm happy to invite on guests to have a word. Okay? But for now, we're going to go into it. So, Mitchieboo was recently in the newspaper and recently on Sky News, which in itself was quite strange that Sky News would be covering something like this, but they did. For the fact that she was relinquished of a £19,000 theft charge from any prison sentence. Now, she's very, adamant that the reason why she never got charged for this, or at least she never got arrested and imprisoned for it, was that she has got kleptomania. She's got a mental health condition. And this mental health condition means that she cannot help but steal. She can't help but everywhere she goes, she got to pick up things. You understand? Um, And because of this urge to steal, that has led her going in and out of particular stores. I think she named Selfridges. We're going to find out the other stores in a bit, where she went and she took away people's goods and so on and so forth, and she get catch with it, right? I think very important to that story is that we need to know exactly what happened and what led to Michibu getting arrested for that £19,000 situation. I'm going to break it down for you so you know exactly what took place because I am conscious that a lot in Planka Shop don't really know. And what you're hearing on the interview is you probably just taking away things at face value. So we're going to dig a little bit deeper. In fact, this is going to be a deep dive. All right. So first things first, I'm going to share with you the article that explains the £19,000 theft and how Michibu got off that. All right. Okay. So let me share my screen. First of all, let me just make sure I have up the right window. And when I share the screen, I want you to give me a thumbs up and tell me that you can actually see what I am about to share. Okay. All right. Okay. Give me a thumbs up. Can you see that? Can we all see that? Give me a thumbs up if you can. All right. I'm going to just pull up my other monitor here while we go through this. And I want to make sure that you guys can all see what I'm seeing. Brilliant. Okay. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Thanks for the thumbs up. So we can all see what I'm seeing. Great. Okay. Um, so this is an article that was published in the Daily Mail. And if you notice the title, first of all, the title says, I was in an all-girl shoplifting gang called the Spice Girls and stole 19,000 pounds worth of designer items, but it wasn't my fault. Here's why. Now, first of all, if you notice the headline says I was in an all-girl shoplifting gang called the Spice Girls. I want you to there's a video that I shared on my community page that was the interview that took place not too long ago around this whole 19,000 pounds and her, getting away with it, so to speak. And she did that interview um, with a young lady here in the UK. And one of the questions that the young lady asked her was, "What is this thing about Spice Girls?" Right? And when she was asked that question, Mitchieboo basically said, and the name of the channel is Trend Central. So if you look on my community page, it's titled I Stole 19K worth of stuff because of my mental health, right? Um, it's got 65K views. This was 4 months ago. And it's called Off the Record. And she said that she was never a part of any gang. She was never called any Spice Girl. She doesn't know where Spice Girls came from. Now, when Michibu said that in that interview, my eyes just went wide because I was like, what? Because I've always known of the Spice Girls, girl shoplifting gang from London. Me know about them because me used to live in London. So me never understand that she never know who the Spice Girls was, and she not have a clue what Spice Girls is, and she was never a part of any gang. Now, that alone threw up a red flag for me because I'm like, them ever saying in Jamaica, every thief is alive and every liar is a thief and all these things. So anyway, make we go down in it. So I was in an all-girl shoplifting gang called the Spice Girls and stole 19,000 pounds worth of designer items, but it wasn't my fault. Here's why. So it says a prolific shoplifter who was cleared of stealing 19,000 pounds worth of designer items because of her mental health issues claims she suffers from kleptomania and can't help taking things. Melissa Grant, 55, that's her correct age, was part of a professional female shoplifting gang dubbed the Spice Girls, who would raid exclusive shops in London's West End. Listen to where they would target. Because if you remember correctly from Donna's interview, Donna asked her, why is it that your kleptomania leads you to high-end stores and expensive items, right? And she said, no, I always go for anything. It doesn't matter if it's high end. It could just be a pen on the desk of my GP. It could just be a disc. I would have teeth that too, right? Now I'm not saying she didn't. But this whole gang was known for targeting expensive stores in the London West End. They would grab huge quantities of expensive clothes and lingerie. Okay. And for those of you who don't know what lingerie is, the sexy underwear that you wear for your man, them kind of things. The mother of two was jailed for almost 2 years in 2009 for those crimes. The gang also struck at shops in Bluewater, Kent, and Lewes in Sussex. But last week, when she appeared at the Westminster Magistrate Court, charged with 4 counts of theft from Selfridges over 4 days, not 3, in December last year, prosecutors decided that public interest wasn't met in pursuing a conviction against Grant due to her mental health problems. And for those of you who don't understand what that means, public interest wasn't met. In other words, the cost of keeping her in jail over and over again was beginning to outweigh the investment of taxes from the public in a case where she has mental health issues and it would be best that she goes in a different direction rather than be locked up in prison. Do you understand? Right? So it was not in public interest in order to convict her because of her mental health problems. Now, Grant has confirmed that those mental health issues are that she claims to suffer from a compulsion to take things from shops, even when she doesn't want to. In an exclusive interview, Grant claims she doesn't want to steal, but the voices in her head tell her to do it. She said, because of my mental health, I have an urge to steal. I can't stop myself. Right? So here are the lovely pictures. You can see that, her fashion is indeed extremely high end, extremely, expensive wear. Yeah. And some probably not so expensive, but just how she puts herself together. She may have on something cheap, but the bag and the shoes are ball out. You understand? Right. She says, I was diagnosed with kleptomania. So some people are thinking that she was only diagnosed with bipolar disorder, or she was only diagnosed. No, she was in fact diagnosed with kleptomania. I take stuff I don't want or need. I just can't help myself. I've tried, but I get anxiety and panic attacks. I can't stop myself. Something in my head is telling me I need to take it. The voices in my head are telling me I need to take it. Grant first came to the UK from Jamaica when she was 18 in 1990 with her two children looking for a better life. Now, me go down in a one rabbit hole, anyway, but me go dig up some things, people. And it is my understanding that she came in 2020, according to not when 2020, when she was 20 years old, according to her interviews. That's what she stated, that she arrived when she was 20, and that when she was 20, she was trafficked. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Give me a comment if you think I'm wrong. Pretty certain that on the Donegal show, I heard her say that when she came to the UK, she was 20 years old. Okay, so I'm not mishearing things. She said okay, all right, thank you. Now, according to this article, she came when she was 18 in 1990 with her two children looking for a better life. Now, we've subsequently heard a story where she said that she arrived when she was 20. She sounded as though she arrived singly. Then she was placed in a household with a man who then trafficked her to actually be a mule, as in a DRUG mule, right? That's what we heard in the interview last night. But anyway, according to this article, she says she soon fell into a life of crime because she claims it was difficult to decipher right from wrong because of her personality disorder. Now, that's not what we heard. What we heard was that when she arrived, she ended up in this man's house. She was given no option when it came to employment. And she was only told, listen, you have to go sell the things that are us up on the street because that alone are going to make you can survive in here because you're not paying a rent, you're not paying no bills. And in order for you to have a roof over your head, you have to go up on the street and you understand? You have to cut up your rocks and yeah, you understand? Eighths and quarters and all these things. Ounce, right? So here it says that it was in fact her mental health that led her into the life of crime because the mental health that she has makes it difficult for her to decipher between right from wrong because of her personality disorder. Anyway, let's keep reading. In her most recent brush with the law, she was charged over the theft of two designer handbags worth £4,730. Because this is the part I really wanted Donna to do. I really wanted Donna to break down what the £19,000 consisted of, but I think maybe there were boundaries on the interview, so she probably couldn't delve into it to ask her what it was. But this article tells us in her most recent brush with the law, she was charged over the theft of two designer handbags worth £4,730, four Optica shirts worth £2,800, five Pasley shirts to the value of £6,620, a £1,810 medium logo bag, and a £325 oblique Bylan cap, as well as a £2,650 Alalia dress. So this is the most recent. This is not the previous stuff that she's been arrested for. After being spared a conviction for her latest shopping spree, Grant said there would be no benefit putting her back behind bars. She said it. The judge did what he thinks is right because sending me to prison, what is the benefit in that? She said. When you go to prison, there's nothing there for you to do. We did hear her repeat this ideology on the interview yesterday. I have been there already. I went back to prison in December and nothing changed. Everything is worse. I believe that's a picture of the Westminster Magistrates Court. Oh no, it's a picture of the Selfridges actually. What am I saying? Yeah, that's the Selfridges where she do. Yes, in Oxford Street. Over 4 days, not 3, 4 days, according to this article. Okay? Right. This is Mama looking very hot, as always, because one thing is for certain, the fashion's ever on point. You understand? Yes, my loves. So she added, I want help and I want the support. So kleptomania is a mental health disorder that involves repeatedly being unable to resist urges to steal items that you generally don't really need. Often the items stolen have little value and you could afford to buy them. Now pay attention to that because this article is very cheekily written and they've done it on purpose. And the reason they've put that there because that is the definition of kleptomania. You literally steal anything. Now, Donna did ask her a very pertinent question. She asked her, so when you said that you're diagnosed with kleptomania, but is it kleptomania or is it magpie syndrome? She never went too deep into it because she was very quick to say, no, 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 I am that one. I am kleptomania. I steal anything, right? So magpie syndrome, because DMG never got a chance to really go into it. Magpie syndrome is a preoccupation with shiny things, meaning that you're interested in all the glitz, all the glamour, all the pretty stuff. Okay? And when you have magpie syndrome, you steal only the shiny, only the expensive, only the beautiful. You don't just steal anything. Right? Yeah. You don't just steal anything. When you have magpie syndrome, it's because you are looking for the most expensive. And that can be a mental health thing. It can, if properly diagnosed as such. So when DMG asked her about that, and she said, no, 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 no. I steal everything. I could just be in a doctor's office. I'll see a pen, I pick it up, I gone with it. It could be anything. I've not seen any record that shows that she has stolen simple little things like that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I just haven't found any. Um, most of the things that are being highlighted by the press are the expensive high end items that she has in fact taken. And I think that if somebody has got kleptomania, it's interesting how she was able to avoid arrest in for the smaller, items, so to speak. And that could be down to many things. It could be down to the fact that them not really a watch a pen or a pencil or a rubber or something small like that, but them definitely a watch the expensive things even more because it's more of a hit to the business if they go walking, right? So I am not going to discredit and say that, listen, she didn't do any of those simple thefts, those simple petty thefts, and and say and claim that it's only expensive things she thieved. She has expressed her story, and this is what we have to go with. But I'm just saying, in terms of evidence of stuff, I'm not seeing anything on here that suggests that even when they went to our house, there was other stuff that was low end costs. Anyway, it says here um, during her 2009 court trial for shoplifting, it was heard that Grant behaved aggressively towards a shop assistant during the gang's stealing spree, saying to her companion, I feel like spitting in her face. One of her accomplices was then stopped by officers who found the bags were full of stolen clothing from Gap, Uniqlo, Oasis, and Next, which included 15 pairs of trousers, 4 tops, and 3 pairs of shoes. Now, Oasis and Next and Gap, I don't know Uniqlo. I've never shopped there, but I've shopped at the other three. I would not consider them to be low end. They are not the highest end, but they're a little bit higher than say H&M. Okay, they're a little bit more expensive, but they are what we consider to be high street, nonetheless. Okay, so I suppose that would be considered for her to be low end, right? But it's not really that low. Police later spotted Grant and the rest of the gang loading more black sacks into the boot of an Audi before arresting them. The bags were also found to contain stolen clothes from All Saints and Warehouse, with all the items totaling a value of around £1,500. They later raided a flat in Southwark, linked to the gang, and found £10,700 worth of clothes and underwear from La Senza, Topshop, Next, Monsoon, and River Island, with the security tags still on them. There was a further £10,700 worth of goods with the tags off, including underwear from Upmarket, erotic boutique Coco de Mer. Okay? Okay. Yes? Um, So I mean, I hear nothing about nothing but them find in a pound shop or pound land. I mean, I hear about nothing so them find some things from Marks and Spencer's or Tesco. I mean, I hear nothing find from Asda. I mean, I hear nothing find from, you understand? No, I mean, I hear none of those names of those places called. I hear in very, the higher end of shopping venues things being called. And this is what the whole gang was known for. You understand? This is what I knew them for. When I was living in London, when I was living in London, I remember people telling me about this gang. I remember actually going into a store and seeing a group of them being hustled out because of some credit card business. And credit card scamming was one of the other things that they did. I noticed that that hasn't featured much in here, right? Okay. Um, Recalling her time in jail previously, Grant said prison didn't rehabilitate her and she returned to shoplifting to feed her drug habits. Pay attention. Let me read that again because I don't think you're listening. Recalling her time in jail previously, Grant said prison didn't rehabilitate her and said she returned to shoplifting to feed her drug habits and feed her family during the cost of living crisis. So there's two things going on here. Remember that Donna asked her, were you told to take the narcotics or what? And she said that she never really gave a direct answer, to be honest. She said she had to learn fast. She had to carry it in her mouth. But she never went into the fact that she was actually a user. And she did used to use. Now, no matter how much you arrest somebody, if somebody has got an addiction to narcotics, that addiction is going to drive a lot of things. And even when they come out, the first thing is to try to find the next line or the next hit. And then after that, the behaviors attached to addiction continues, right? Okay, you're gonna have to pay for it. And selling stolen goods at a much reduced rate is a quick way on the black market to earn all that fast cash in hand to get you your fix and do whatever else you need to do. You understand? Remember, they gave away half of the game. Well, not half, a quarter of the game on Donna Marie Go's interview. They said that because she asked the crucial question. I'm so pleased she asked that. What do you do with the goods after you have stolen them? Do you sell them? Do you wear them? What do you do? She claimed that she sells some, she wears some, she gives some away. Used to pop barrel and so with them. You understand? So when she was selling some, that's her liquid cash that she's earning. And the fact that the manager even went on to say, stop ordering from her because you people are pushing her to go back into the lion's den and to continue with the stealing. Because every time you guys want to place an order, obviously what she's seeing is that this is money I could be making and this is such an easy hit. I could have just go in at the store and just get a frack from Zara, or I could have go in at the store and get a frack from Selfridges or whichever, and come back and make that quick money. You understand? So this is how she fed her drug habit. This was and when you have a drug habit, the drug habit takes precedence over all things, including family. Now remember, she spoke quite clearly about the fact that um her children were taken away. Did she say why? Graduates, did she say why her family was broken apart? I wonder. Because she implied that it's because of the stealing and they never took the time to know why. But I suggest, I'm not saying it's factual, that the ultimate reason why those twins would have been taken was because she was a user. That's what I'm suggesting. Because those things don't happen lightly. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't just happen like that. Social services would have to intervene in your life, find out what's going on, interview and assess, check out your living conditions. Reports would have had to have been coming in from school and all about that things were not right with these kids before it led down this path of her losing them. Yes. So, anyway, she says for rehabilitation, she's talking about her time in prison. You're just locked up in your cell. There's nothing structured for you. Prison isn't always the answer because while you are in there, you aren't learning, she said. For rehabilitation, you need something in the community. You need something there to help people with mental health. These are all true. There was no support for me. I couldn't get a job because of my criminal record. It's hard for people like me. I've tried to get a job. She claims that due to her mental health struggles and her troubled background, that she often ends up back down the wrong path. She said, when someone calls me or different gangs, I don't know how to say no because my mental health makes me feel like I need them for reassurance. No one asked me why to get to the bottom of it. When asked why she turned to shoplifting, Miss Grant told Mail Online, well, one was to feed my drug habit and to feed my children and my family. I didn't have any status in this country, so I couldn't work. No. Remember, the article says she came into the country when she was 18 years old with her two children in order to seek a better life, right? She then later on clarified that she was in fact 20 and she turned up at this man's house and the man then trafficked her to sell the narcotics. Okay. Um, which came first? Because if this is the case, all right, now that he is trafficking her, it look like say while she herself she go take a taste and that start. So she start to get addicted. You don't have any status and you have to work now because you can't get benefits. I can see how it would work, you know. You can't get benefits. You can't get social housing. If you mechanize, they might addict you. You came up on a visitor's letter, which means that you came up and your intention was only to stay in the country for X time and you know go back. So you come up as a visitor upon a visitor's letter and you come with your two kids. So they are looking to you for food. They might look to depend. And in those days, you could register your children without having to prove your own status. Nowadays, they're asking for even parents' passports if they think you're a migrant family. They don't always, but they can. They have the right to do it now, right? So in those days, you come with your kids and you could have just signed up your picnic for go to school and nobody not ask no question. You understand? So, and I know this is true because me telling about my friend already. My friend from Tivoli, where me and her used to hang out a lot in North London. And when I was going to visit in Jamaica, she asked me to bring up her child. And me feel bad, but me never do it because me know say the intention was to run off with the picnic, and I never want that on my name. Because I knew my intention was to always be straight in this country. Right? So because I did not want that responsibility, me never take it. So she got somebody else to do it. She wanted me to do the invitation letter and everything. And I could not go there with her because I knew I needed to be straight in every way. Right? So I know say this is a fact. So you can easily in those days, in the 90s, the early 90s and so, you could have do that. So anyway, I can understand why she would be pressured. She can't have status and so on. And getting involved in the narcotics industry, it's not hard to imagine that she could try it and end up becoming an addict. Words can't come out today. Right? So I'm not going to judge her for all of that. It makes legitimate sense. Okay? All right. Let's keep going. You see, boy, she really is. She really is a hottie. That is for sure. Mitchieboo really look good, really tan good. Wow. Just take a look for yourself. And boy, oh boy, the newspaper went to town showing her, eh? You know, they must show and say, look there, look on difficulty in the UK. All of the hot pictures. Anyway, the only way of finding food for my children was by doing what I was doing and stealing to feed them. People see me as a bad person, but no one understands that I came here with two young children on my own. Detailing her difficult and impoverished childhood in Jamaica, as well as the loss of family relatives to violence, Miss Grant quipped, "It is not that I have an upbringing where I know right from wrong." What? Just draw breaks a minute. Because I am not from a rough upbringing, but I find this offensive. I find this offensive because how can you be saying, how can you be saying that you don't know right from wrong because of the rough background that you came from? On the guys. Somebody says here, Kelly says, I think the news channel picked up on the story to expose her. Now stores will become more aware. They want to boast on their one another who can dress, who can buy the most champagne. The vast majority, Pottinger says, vast majority of them are in that lifestyle. Leggy says that means it's not klepto. She chose that lifestyle. Exactly the point I am getting to. And I need you guys to understand that I'm not here to say, oh, Mitchieboo thief or whatever. No, I am breaking it down for you bit by bit. So you can fully comprehend that, listen, there is a distinct difference between making deliberate choices in life that have had real repercussions and mental health. They are two separate things, right? But anyway, like I was saying, in this article, it says she had an impoverished childhood in Jamaica. So excuse me, a whole heap of us have had an impoverished childhood in Jamaica and definitely know the difference between right from wrong. And also know that when we make the wrong choice, that we definitely making the wrong choice. Because it's not like say we're going to make those choices in front of a police officer because we don't know the difference. We are gonna hide and do what we are do so we not get catch. You understand? So I find that offensive that you are trying to make it seem as though when you have a rough upbringing where there is violence and all sorts of bad things, you can't distinguish between right and wrong in Jamaica. We all know the difference. Come on now. Anyway, it says instead of shoplifters like her being punished for what she dubbed a minor crime, she believes officials should be getting to the root of why they're unable to stop stealing. A lot have mental health problems. A lot of us are troubled. There is no cure, and nobody tries to understand, she argued. I would love to change, she said. I have remorse. I'm not happy about anything I've done. I also take full responsibility. I'm not happy about anything that I've done. I'm not proud of it, but I do need help. All I need is help and reassurance, but no one is there to help me. What do you do? So I end up back down the same path. She added, I've tried to turn my life around. I've tried to change. Now, when I tell you that this article had some crazy comments, I have to share the comments with you because it's in these comments that I found out that allegedly Mitchieboo came here. Well, not came here, but was allowed to stay in the country on the basis of asylum. Huh? Anybody know no more about this? Because anyway, so people are saying things like deport her. Um, that the Crown prosecution services are short of useless. I'm ignoring the silly comments about her looks and stuff. She stole 19,000 pounds of designer clothes, but still manages to look as though she's dressed in car boot cast offs. Oh my God. As to the kleptomania, lock her up, then she has no opportunity to steal. This person wishes for the Sharia law. Sharia law is where they basically just chop off your head or your hands or whatever Muslim things. You understand? Um, of course, it was your fault. Nobody seems remotely willing to accept that you are solely responsible for your own actions, always blaming it on someone else or a neurodiversity. So, this is where the comments came from this person. I don't know who this lamb papaya grass is. She can't get deported back to Jamaica. She has asylum here. Sad to say. She has asylum in this country. She can't get deported back. Huh. Is there some truth in this? Is there some truth in this? Remember, she stated in Donna's interview that she was deported wrongfully. Do you remember that? She said she was deported wrongfully. Now, I'm going to share with you, Lord Jesus, I'm going to share with you this video. I hope the video will play, because it's, this a stream thing. I mean, I know how good it is, but, uh, give me a thumbs up if you can see this video that's on my screen. Hmm? Yeah, bro, Shaka say nah, nothing to say. Ah, boy. Anyway, give me a thumbs up if you can see this video because I'm gonna play this video. All right. Can you see the video on the screen? I'm gonna press play on it and then I want you to let me know if you can hear the audio. Okay. I want you to let me know if you can hear the audio. Right? Okay. Hold on there. Hold on. Can you hear it? It's not, it's worrying. All right, I'm gonna just do it on my. I'm gonna just do it on my. Hold on, I'm gonna just do it differently. Can we can't bother this? That's why I'm tell you, I'm gonna like none of them streaming thing, cause the whole of them are foolishness. Yeah, it just keeps freezing. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing, and I'm gonna just run it on my phone. Okay, I'm gonna just run it on my phone. Hold on. So in this video, yeah, after she was accused of stealing and stuff, she came out to prove that she more than got it. Okay. All right, hold on. It's also bought in Paris, so I didn't get the chance to wear it. See. Yeah, much, man. The good shit. Don't know how well you can see it. Yeah, this is not Paris. Paris, it was bought in online with the earring. And I want to buy online too. Versace. And with the back too. I don't can't say anything. I don't want blood clots. Senior style. No time, no can style a girl. No dirty red eye blood clot, you know. Go suck on mama the whole on her blood clot, red eye. Now come to a life come prove nothing to no go suck on mama and this my online. And like I put my name and my details now show up on it here, my address. Mm-hmm. Online purchase, Versace. I'm gonna buy my blood clot shoes. So me that get I'm gonna get the big box, it's not even wear yet. Versace was bought online from Versace as well. This one was bought in Arras on Saturday. This one was bought in Selfridges on Saturday. I'm actually going to go buy it. And some shoes box them young. And some a bomb of blood clot online receipt and price receipt. Then I would them send on my online things them. The whole of them come suck me and suck my blood clot pussy on a dot. The drunk on a can't style me. But style on a dirty woman on a dirty house on a have. And uno no fit talk and uno walk and send blood clot people got teeth. And uno walk and buy half price. So what on in that walk and buy half price blood style me girl. Here style me. Arras. Arras and I make the receipt. Arras and I make the receipt. Selfridges on my back blood clot by Arras again. Let's watch some of when I run up and down in the comments, you know. When I better listen. Yeah, blood clots. Can't stand blood clot me. Now eat that. And rest of things on my bad blood clot online. See me? Online Versace. I buy my Versace shoes online. I buy the one in the hours I wear. And the one I buy online. This not wear it. Yeah? And so the box then, yeah. And see the receipt and the something them there and see them there. Was suck on a blood clot, my dirty girl. And I can't stand moving a dirty girl, who a dirty blood clot girl, me I talk about. When I go buy furniture for a blood clot or some clean and a blood clot or some top and a blood clot. Nasty, I don't have. And I can't talk to me. Arras, selfishes, blood clot. Them by blood clot online. Supposed to come ring out me drunk and I can ring out my blood clot and I can't bring me down. I'm not from a blood clot like come proof the phone and I fuck off. I think when I'm sitting on my blood clot, I'm not talking to them. I don't come proof nothing to them. I come fuck me. Nothing me don't post to them. Anything on a blood clot, and I want dash up on the grim and I dash up on the grim. Don't blood clot bother me. Oh, no, red eye. If them a thump and blood clot in my email, can now them send receipt in an email come blood clot give blood come for me. When a damn blood clot come for me. When I not come for me on a come blood clot good me I'm receipt them and a try come for me. When a can't blood clot come for me. When a can't come for me and a blood clot come for me and the rest of them are coming on my blood clot email. When I not try come for me. I mean when I come for when them send the things online, see how them blood clots send it for not a blood clot. No, them send it in a gift wrap and everything on the
Don't blood clot come for me. Let Versace earring when me have her with a blood clot shoes, yeah, that good shoes, yeah. And the bag when me buying a selfridges for the selfridges receipt on it. Don't come for me. I've looked for both to them. Anything I want, think and anything I want, believe so blood clot. On Christmas, you know, doctor had blood clot, y'all don't set out for me. I couldn't feel on a can blood clot, bring me down. One can't bring me down enough. I don't understand people come rob me. I don't understand people come thief from. One can't bring me down. I don't understand people for come rob me. I don't know plot the evil and the evil things and for happen to me. God is in the midst of it, blood clot all. And uno can't bring me down and uno can't carry me down. Uno can't bring me down and uno can't know my business. I mean, I go upon a blood clot life to prove nothing to me, no. When I go upon life, I go upon it's my own blood clot reason. Not when uno tell me to go upon life. I go upon life for me, ready to go upon life. Uno move on a blood clot and I start out on also blood clot Christmas. So when I'm short and furniture.
That was 3 years ago. So, are we right to assume then that the arrest that took place shortly after, when her mother had passed, etc., had to do with this? Is this hall the hall that she got arrested for then? Um, and here she is, she's online, she's bragging about what she has and what others don't. Now, this is what I am trying to say. I'm not saying that there isn't a mental health issue. I'm not saying that she doesn't have trauma. But we've got to remember that one's own behavior can often determine how people view your perspective. And when you're hyping on others based on material things and what you have, then people are going to think that these material things, the greed of them, is what drives your choices, not your mental health. And you cannot blame the public for questioning whether or not this is an individual who is using the system in a way to remove accountability or at least reduce the possibility thereof. Because this is just one of many that I found. This is just one of many. It's just that this one was great because it showed all the goods, whereas the other ones it was just like talk, right? Um, how is it that we've got somebody who's saying that she's got kleptomania, she's got borderline personality disorder, um, but yet all of this hype that's attached to the dance hall and clearly a stimulus for her theft, she's not avoiding. She's still gravitating towards the dance hall scene, which is where she dresses to go. She's still attracted to the environment. It's like you're telling somebody who's addicted to drugs to go to a coke party and not draw some lines. Make that make sense. You understand? Well, Shari, no, at no point did she say that she was in need at all. But what you need to understand, Shari, is that you are looking at a section of society that finances their lifestyle from illegal activities. Remember, she never had her stay. She was able to, she first went into illegalities, be it that she was trafficked or not. And then all that money that was made, it then got reinvested into dances and all those other things. And then, of course, it doesn't always keep up. So you need to have the look, you need to have the lifestyle. So them form this gang, them decide for thief in order to save some dollars, right? Then they sell these stolen goods. These stolen goods then finance a lifestyle. So, be it that she's in need or not, all of this is intertwined in order for her to keep on going in a cycle. So me showing you that video is showing you that she's caught up in the damn cycle and she still is. So how is she supposed to get over her mental health, move away from the mental health and the stigma and the triggers? Is she still very much a part of that scene? Make it make sense. You can send an addict to a drug party and say, don't take none. If somebody is genuinely wanting, hey, Lady V, big up yourself. If somebody is genuinely wanting to turn their whole life around and walk away from things and have nothing to do with it and clear it away and stop with the stealing and stop being, tempted to place to fulfill orders, why would they go to the very same scenario that created the mindset in the first place? And if somebody isn't going to tell her the hard truth, I'm going to tell her. I was saying the same thing yesterday. She needs to change her scene and seek therapy. Then I will take her serious. Exactly. Exactly the point. Exactly the point. And this is her true colors. Correct, Sky? Right? So I am not saying that she did not get GRAP, you know, raped. I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm not saying that she was not abused. I'm not saying that she did not witness some terrible traumatic things. I'm not saying that her family members didn't die in some terrible ways. And I'm not saying that she didn't deserve to get asylum, however, she got it, right? These things are going to affect your mental health for real. But I'm saying that at some point in life, there was a choice to be made, and she chose the hype. And that in choosing the hype lifestyle, that she needed to choose because she wanted access to her habit. She wanted access to sell the narcotics as well, because that's where it sells, right? In doing that, she got caught up in a cycle that was fueled by greed. And if you're saying to me that that is what led to her kleptomania, I am not convinced. That's me. I'm not convinced. Because to me, if you are a kleptomaniac, you're going to go to Canada and you're going to thief. I heard that she was in Toronto the other day. She didn't thief nothing. Or maybe she never get catch. Everywhere you go, you're going to be picking stuff up because you cannot help it. She's claiming that she's on medication. How do we know that she take the medication all the time? She says sometimes she doesn't take the medication because she sleeps too late. And one's supposed to be an upper for in the morning to keep her happy. Now take a look at how she was in that interview yesterday. Did she look like she took her medication? Because some of them don't like to be honest. Exactly, Steph B. That is the question. But you see, it's been set up in a way that even if she does it again, guys, it will be a case of, listen, she's done it again, but we know that she has got this history, she's got this mental health problem, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be a minor again, or the community service that they had before. I'm going to pull up the other article now that speaks about how they used to operate in the West End. And this is from 2012, because I'm telling you that, guys, this thing going way back. Don't even think. It's going way, way, way back. All right. I'm going to go even further back than 2000. I'm going to go to 2009. All right. I'm going to go to 2009 and make you guys know exactly what's popping. So just hold on 1 second. All right. Hold on. Thumbs up if you can see that. She looked very unhinged in the interview yesterday. I think she looked very emotionally, very pressured emotionally. I think her emotions were not under control and that she was struggling to control them. That the fact that she was breaking down into tears every 5 seconds, I don't know if it was acting. I think it's more a lack of control over emotions. So to me, as I said, there is a mental health thing there is, but I'm just not convinced about kleptomania. That's what I'm not convinced about. She's saying that she received that diagnosis, um, and I'm calling it out. That listen, I think your diagnosis may have been easily feigned because anybody can pretend to be a kleptomaniac. I can go to the doctor's office, sit down in the seat, and deliberately steal a pen and do it like I don't know that I'm doing it. And then when I leave, the GP is like, "Oh my God, she took my pen. She really does." And then when he confronts me, "Oh my God, I have it in my bag. I don't even know. I don't even know how I got it." In the other interview that I shared on my community page, she talked about the fact that she was at one of the I think it's a probation meeting or whatever. And then she goes to the bathroom and she tries to take her own life. Now, isn't the timing of that bizarre? You understand? It's like you do it in the probation room. I mean, in the probation toilets. This is where you decide to do this, where you know they're going to come and find you and they're going to try and figure out why you haven't come back to the interview yet and all of that. Is it that you're wanting the attention? So, yes, there's definitely a mental health thing. She's definitely got a mental health issue. It's depression. It could be bipolar disorder. It could be any of those things. But I am not convinced about the theft part. Is what I'm saying. A lot of them were involved in this. All of them are kleptomaniacs. They may all have mental health issues. But genuinely, this is about the fact that they need to fuel a lifestyle. And the only way they can afford to do it and afford to look as good, as hype, as expensive, as glamorous is to feed their pockets through theft. Thank you. And this is what people don't want to be honest about, right? The mental health is definitely there because even the way she was behaving on the interview showed that there was something there. But anyway, let me go into this. Let me go into this article. So this article was from 2009. Three shoplifters who were part of a gang dubbed the Spice Girls. You see how far back this name I go? Have been sentenced for stealing £15,000 worth of clothes from London's West End stores. Melissa Grant, at the time she was 39, Camille Gray, 30, admitted conspiracy to steal at Southwark Crown Court. Grant of West London and Gray of Southwest London were jailed for 21 and 16 months, respectively. Nadine Wright, 31, of North London, admitted handling stolen goods and was ordered to do 100 hours of unpaid work. Jacqueline Thompson, 28, of Edward Avenue, East London, and Ola Ilasanmi, 39, of Trinity Rise, Southwest London, were also part of the gang. Organized and professional is how they're talking about the gang. Now, listen. Thompson, who admitted handling stolen goods, and Ilasanmi, who admitted conspiracy to steal, will be sentenced at a later date. £10,000 worth of stolen clothes were found at Ilasanmi's home. All the women pleaded guilty after they being caught in Oxford Street on the 2nd of October last year, sorting clothes stolen from Gap, Next, and Oasis. A sixth member of the gang, Angela Johnson of Streatham High Road, South London, failed to appear at court after admitting a charge of conspiracy to steal. The 52-year-old was caught staggering from the scene of the crime and struggling with the weight of the bag she was carrying. They were found to contain 31 pairs of trousers, 4 tops, 3 pairs of shoes, and 2 pairs of sandals. In total, the haul was worth £700. So every year, them do it. The costs go up. Prosecutor Sally Fudge said, for the bulk of the shoplifting that characterizes this case, the gang was ordered into those who carried out the stealing and others who assisted in the removal of the items from the area, allowing them to carry out more thefts. You hear that? The gang was organized into those who carried out the stealing and others who assisted in the removal of the items from the area, allowing them to carry out more thefts. Judge James Wadsworth QC said, what you pleaded guilty to was, in my view, organized and professional shoplifting on a large scale. That is a serious problem in the West End, and it is people like you who make it a serious problem. Grant of St. Stephen's Gardens has 30 previous convictions, including 26 for shoplifting. Gay from High Trees is a mother of 5 and was pregnant when she was arrested with a bag of clothes worth £450. Organized and professional. Organized and professional. Pottinger, you can't hear the live? I don't know what's going on. Guys, can you hear me? Because Pottinger is saying that she can't hear me. Can you hear me loud and clear? Let me know if you can hear me, guys, because Pottinger is saying that she can't hear the live. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Can you guys hear me? Loud and clear. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why you can't hear Pottinger. Okay. All right. So the judge is saying that it was professionally done. It was organized. It was structured. So despite having mental health issues, they can organize crime in such a way that they benefit financially. Let me tell you something, guys. I do not doubt that Mitchieboo has a mental health condition. I don't doubt it. I do not doubt that there is something wrong with her. I don't doubt that there is some depression, some trauma that she needs to reconcile with and get treatment and help for. But I'm sorry, we've heard variations in tales from one platform to the other. That shows me that her story doesn't always walk straight. We've heard where, first it was 18, now it's 20. First it was to give children a better life, then it's trafficking to sell drugs and a man that took advantage, and then we're hearing about, the fact that the grape took place when she was 18, but yet she was in this country when she was 18. It's all kind of, you know, and this could be to do with her mental state and how she's able to structure her information, but it also could be down to the fact that a lot of the information that we're receiving may not necessarily be as it seems. And when you have got people who were addicted to substances, they will twist and manipulate things because one, most addicts don't want to admit they're addicts. And if she hasn't recovered fully, it's definitely something that would be tried to be hidden. So I'm saying to you, yes, she needs help. I'm saying to you, Michibu is a phenomenal character, very interesting, very, very interesting. Her book should be something to behold, but it's not taking away that there were deliberate choices made to fuel a greedy lifestyle of the dance hall. That's what she wanted to live, that's what she wanted to be. And she made those choices. She took those things in order to live that life. I'm not talking about whether or not she's kleptomaniac. That's what the doctor claims. I'm talking about the evidence I've seen online, none of which shows me, none of which shows me that this woman has kleptomaniac tendencies. A lot of her history on record is her stealing expensive items, high-end items, costly items. That's what she get catch for. She's telling us that she stole every and everything. I have no evidence of her stealing ever and everything. Anything that she has ever gotten in trouble for has been expensive. So isn't that a deliberate act? Is that what kleptomaniacs do? No. The reason why they put that in the article is to highlight the fact that often the things that kleptomaniacs take is of little to no value. It could have just been that you have one little sharpener for your eyeliner pencil just put on. And then just take the little sharpener. Hmm? It not mean say you need the sharpener. No. But it's just a little thrill, it's a little buzz that, oh, I took that little sharpener. She don't know. It gives them a little high. Right? We have not heard of any such thing. Because trust me, no, there are scandals out there attached to Mitchieboo's name, which I have found. Lots of pasa and, which I could have played, which would have been 10 times worse. So for those of you who are questioning why I only played that or why am I playing that, I could have really gone down in the mulberry bush and I didn't. Because one of the things they would have said to her if she was busy stealing every little tiny thing, they would have called her a thief in a fidem life. Because these are people that she's around. Not one of them have accused her of stealing from them any little nonsense. No, none of them not accuse her of that. Them tell us that she thief clothes, that she thief shoes, that she hyper people, yes. But they have never told her, you come run on my yard. You see me, I cook my dinner. And down to me knife and fork you take off of my table. None of them have said that. None. Hmm? Be careful how we work systems because there are those who really and truly have got this illness down to a T. And they literally have got these impulses that put them in trouble every day. And I'm not saying that Mitchieboo don't have mental health. I'm not saying that. But whatever mental health Mitchieboo has, I'm not convinced it's kleptomania. And that's my opinion. Anyway, if you have made it thus far to the end of the live, make sure you like up the live on your way out of the classroom. You know, say HDK will give you the hard talk, whether you like it or not. Remember to like up the live and drop the purple hearts as you exit the room. Big up on a nice clean self. This is your girl, Head Teacher K, and I'm out.